Hi, this is Kenty Can. My very special guest on the show today is just 12 years old and a published author of 2 children's books, for which she is a 2-time Mom's Choice Award winner. Both books have to do with bullying and have obviously been very well received. Proceeds from their sales are donated to local and international charities which help young children. On today's show, we are thrilled at the opportunity to talk to our young author, Shreya Gupta, about her books and also learn a bit of herself. Shreya, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really happy that you could come and chat with us about the books. But you must be busier than usual. You know, what with school and all the other regular activities that you must have, games, sports, all the other things that you do. The demands on your time now, since you've written these books and the success that you've enjoyed after writing them, it makes things a little difficult for you. So we have to really be thankful that you're able to spare the time to come here. I'm just wondering, how are you handling these demands in your time?
I'm handling it pretty well. It hasn't been too bad, but I've been really enjoying it, getting all the opportunities to be able to spread awareness about my books and just in general be able to help these kids. And I'm finding it very rewarding just in general to have all these opportunities to talk about my books. And even though it's busy, I really enjoy being busy and, having lots of things to do with this. I really enjoy it, being spread all the awareness.
So, obviously, the success of the books and everything you just talked about, it has augmented all the other responsibilities you have. So are there any things that you perhaps may be leaving back just a little bit because you're doing all of this and having so much fun at it too?
Well, I still have lots of spare time to be able to do the things I enjoy. Like before, I used to be able to make lots of animations and do lots of art, and I'm still able to do that. It's just my time's a little more busy now with everything, but I'm still able to express myself in creative ways, which I've always enjoyed doing. And so I would say I'm still able to do all of it. It's just a little more busy, but now I'm able to express my creative ways in a new way with these books. So I think that even though some of the old creative things I used to do I've left behind, I think I'm implementing them in this new way with my books.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've always enjoyed art and expressing myself creatively, and so writing these books really helped me do that. So I knew that bullying was a big problem. It's always been a huge thing to me because I've been bullied before and I knew how it felt. So I knew that it was a problem that had to be dealt with, and I've always been a creative person who loves making stories and writing, and so making these books was a great way to do that. And so I'm a published author who's written 2 books, and just in general I've always loved expressing myself creatively. I love making animations, I love sketching and painting, and in my spare time I also just love and enjoy spending time with my family and friends.
You go to school, what grade are you in?
Yeah, I'm in grade 7.
Yeah, in grade 7. And family, mom and dad, brothers, sisters?
So I'm an only child, but I love spending time with my family, playing board games, doing a bunch of things like that, and my parents have been super supportive along the way of all of this, so it's really nice.
Now both your books have to do with bullying, as we know, and you've just talked about maybe your own experience with bullying. Bullying is very prevalent, especially amongst children and adolescent youth. It's obviously behavior that we would want to obliterate. It hurts everyone, I know. And you wrote your first book, Flamingo Feet, about 2 years ago. And now the second book has come along. I'm wondering if you can tell us, in each case, and we'll deal with Flamingo Feet first, what inspired you to do this story? Now, you just mentioned about bullying, but how did you get to the storyline and the plot and so on? And at what point did you say, you know what, let me express myself creatively here, and I can write about this? What inspired you to do this?
Yeah, so like I was talking about earlier, I knew bullying was a big problem, and I've been bullied myself before, so I knew what it felt like, and you know, it didn't feel good, and at first I didn't know how to deal with the bullying, and I know lots of my friends who were bullied who also didn't know how to deal with it. So once I gained that self-confidence to be able to overcome the bullying and learn to do everything I liked to do and always be myself, I thought it would be amazing to be able to help other kids deal with the bullying. And so I wanted to do something that I knew could help kids, but in a creative way that, you know, they would relate to. And so I thought that writing a book would be a great way to do it, because I've always enjoyed writing. It's always something I've been passionate about, so I thought it would be a great way to express myself that way. And in terms of, so the money for that book goes to charity for young girls in India who don't have access to education. And I've also enjoyed always helping kids around the world with bullying, with abuse, with anything I can. I've always enjoyed helping children or even adults too. And so I wanted to be able to take a step further and do that.
You've given us a whole lot about the book just right now and what inspired you. How about telling us a little bit about the story, the storyline? And I think it's interesting. Maybe as you tell us the storyline, we'll be able to understand why you chose that particular title for the book. But the choice of names of your main characters and so on, give us a sense of what the story is about.
So I wanted to base it a little on myself. So some of Arya's personality and some of her features, like she loves jazz dancing in the story, and I also used to do jazz dancing. So that's based on myself. And so I thought it would be a good way to, you know, take something that I like to do and put it in the story. And so when I did that, I really wanted to try and really add that bullying effect to it. And so I thought of the name Flamingo Feet because I have stage fright sometimes. And so the character Arya in the book also has stage fright. And so sometimes when she gets stage fright and falls when she dances, the kids called her Flamingo Feet. So it was really about like coming up with the storyline and thinking about what I wanted to do with that. And then I kind of took that main part and put it as the title.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's it for the first book. Of course, we have to talk a little bit about the second book and maybe the same kinds of questions, but we do have to take a short break. So we'll be right back with my very special guest, Shreya Gupta, author of 2 children's books that deal with the subject of bullying, and she has already won 2 Mom's Choice Awards for these books. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. My guest is Shreya Gupta, an award-winning child author. She's only 12 years old, and she has won 2 Mom's Choice Awards for books on bullying. The books are called Flamingo Feet and The Flip Side. Well, before we went on break, you gave us some sense as to what Flamingo Feet is all about and what went into it. Your second book, which came about 2 years or so later, it's called The Flip Side. And this book talks about a particular kind of bullying, cyberbullying as I understand it. The first book, Flamingo Feet, was in-person bullying as I understood that. I want you to maybe take a moment, first of all, to explain the difference between those two. And if there are other types of bullying you want us to know about. I mean, bullying hurts everybody, those that are affected by it. And we want to, eliminate bullying as much as we can. So take a minute first, before we talk about the flip side, and explain what's in-person bullying, cyberbullying, and if there are other kinds of bullying.
Yeah, so in my first book, Flamingo Feet, it's more verbal bullying, I would say. Like, it's more calling names and making fun of Arya, the main character. And in my second book, Cyberbullying, it's more online bullying, like making fun of videos or commenting mean things. So cyberbullying is more online bullying, and it can be spreading rumors through text, it can be unliking posts or putting mean comments. And then other types of bullying can be like physical bullying, where kids are sometimes actually pushing each other and, get in an argument or a fight. And I would say all of these types of bullying can be quite hurtful, and there's so many scenarios of types of bullying that can happen. Sometimes it can be multiple types of bullying. And, but yeah, in the first book, it's more just calling Arya different names, and in the second book, it's more making fun of Autumn's animations. So she creates animations, and so it's more making fun of that and writing mean comments.
You know, you've just touched on something, and before we get into the flip side, why do you think people bully others? Why do you know? Do you have a reason for that?
Well, there's many different reasons why sometimes bullies can bully other people, but sometimes it's because they want to take like their anger, or if something's going on in their life, they want to take it on other people or make other people feel bad if they're going through a rough time in their if they're going through a rough time in their life. And just sometimes, you know, they feel upset about something, and so they take that anger out on other people who, you know, may be really nice people, but they just want to bring them down. And sometimes bullies are just mean people in general. They just are jealous of some people and just want to make them feel bad.
Do you think bullies know how much they hurt people?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they can see the person getting hurt, and sometimes they don't also realize what they're doing. I mean, they know that they're doing something mean, but sometimes they don't realize how much can affect another person. Sometimes, because at the end of the day, it is just children most of the time.
Yes.
So, you know, sometimes they don't fully know what they're doing too.
The age of technology in terms of cyberbullying, you know, and here am I chatting with you, and I'm learning so much about this, because I didn't think, I mean, now as you say it, yes, it's obvious, but I didn't realize that texting, which is something all young people do. I mean, everybody's texting. So there's a lot of bullying happening with texting. To me, cyberbullying means you got to go online somewhere and Facebook or something. But texting is a major aspect of cyberbullying, and I hadn't really thought about that. So it's good that you bring that up, and you talk about the other physical bullying everybody knows about. You know, there's always you know, some guy or gal in the schoolyard who is stronger or pretends to be stronger than everybody and just takes advantage. So I think in my time, of course, perhaps that was the only kind of bullying. You know, somebody would, you know, just beat you up. Now there's other ways, and it really, you know, makes it difficult for young kids growing up. Let's go on then to the flip side. And same thing, what inspired the flip side? And where I'm coming from with this is, by this time, you've already written a book. It's already been successful. It was already on bullying. And now comes the second book, the flip side. Why the flip side, and again, what inspired it?
So one of the main reasons, so I chose to do cyberbullying specifically because with the pandemic right now, especially, cyberbullying has been an even larger problem, like with online school for some people, or just in general communicating online more. And so, you know, with kids using social media more, it's just been a huge problem lately. So that's really what inspired the cyberbullying aspect, because even me, I haven't been, you know, really badly cyberbullied, but I know my friends have before, and it's just, I know so many people who have been cyberbullied, and it's been a huge problem. And along with that, seeing how many kids my first book helped, Flamingo Feet, kids were coming back saying that it had really helped them deal with bullying. And, you know, I'd also raised a lot of money with Flamingo Feet, and so I wanted to continue trying to help kids because I saw how successful that was. And so I wanted to continue helping kids deal with bullying, and just in general help them gain self-confidence and let them enjoy what they like to do.
Those wonderful reasons. The first book was successful. It talked about one aspect of bullying. Cyberbullying, you know, exists to some of your friends. And so hence the second book. How did you choose the plot for this? And what came to you with, I know now you wanted to talk about cyberbullying, but now you had to think about a completely different thing. Now we're dealing with autumn. And is there a specific reason? I mean, it just came to me. Aria, A for Aria and A for Autumn is your main character. Is there a reason for this? And how did you get to the plot?
Yeah, so the plot was, again, loosely based on myself. Like, in the story, Autumn loves creating animations, and I also love creating animations. It's something I've always been passionate about doing to express myself. And in the story, Autumn also has a pet hamster named Nibbles, which is a main part of the story. And in real life, I also used to have a pet hamster named Nibbles.
Oh, there you go.
And so in the story, in the illustrations, he looks exactly the same as my pet hamster Nibbles used to, so it's kind of dedicated to him too. And in terms of like the names being Aria and Autumn, I think it just so happened to be that way. I didn't even plan it. I just liked the name Autumn for the character, and so I chose that. But in terms of the plot, I thought, okay, I can take, you know, something I enjoy doing a lot, because at that time when I was younger, I wrote Flamingo Feet and I was more interested in dancing. But as I grew older, I really enjoyed the animation aspect. So I thought that taking something I like to do to put it in the story would be an amazing way to show cyberbullying, because, you know, animation's online, posting the videos, and then the kids making fun of the videos.
Yes. Earlier, you mentioned that after your experience and how serious, whatever form it took with bullying, you work hard to overcome it. I'm wondering, how does one do that?
It can be quite hard to do it, but you know, at first I was sad and I was upset, and you know, I didn't know what to do because I felt like I couldn't do the things that I enjoyed because I would be made fun of or called names. So the way I overcame it was getting help. I talked to my parents, I talked to my friends, and it's just learning to believe in yourself and knowing that what people say about you doesn't matter. Like, you can do what you enjoy doing no matter what people say about you. You can be yourself because you're your own person, and you can express yourself in any way that you like to do.
Well, we do have to take another short break now, but we'll come right back and we'll chat some more about the book and a little bit more about what you do and a little bit about yourself. Please stay with us. My guest is Shreya Gupta, and we'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back with my guest Shreya Gupta. Shreya is the author of 2 children's books, and they deal with bullying. She is a 2-time winner of Mom's Choice Awards for these 2 books, and Shreya is telling us about these books, and we are happy that you can be with us. Shreya, I must say that it's got to be very difficult for anybody, kids, adolescents, anybody who has experienced bullying of any kind, whether it's personal bullying, cyberbullying, physical bullying. It's got to be difficult for them to kind of get positive about it and try and turn it around when they've got to keep looking over their shoulder or looking in front of them, because at any time they may be hit with bullying, and it's not easy. It hurts very badly. It's got to be difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's not easy for children especially to deal with the bullying.
Both of these books, and you mentioned earlier about friends told you how the book has helped them and so on. What is it you want to do? I mean, the books are inspirational. What is it you want to motivate people to do, those who read the books? What do you want them to do and learn from them and to pass on?
Well, my main goal is honestly to just teach children to always chase their dreams no matter what, and even help other kids deal with bullying. You know, if you know someone who's being bullied, help them deal with the bullying, and just always have self-confidence in yourself and do what you like to do no matter what people say. Like, don't listen to the bullies and what they say to you or do to you. You know, you always have to just believe in yourself and know that it's okay. I can deal with it and I can overcome it.
And that's what we just said. It's still not easy. You've got to work at it. So you need support. You need support, family, friends, your peers, your good friends, your neighbors. You need a whole lot of support that way. And then the proceeds from these books, and you talked a little bit about it earlier. You again want to help people, and so the proceeds from each of these books specifically go to different charities. You want to talk a little bit about the charities you're hoping that the sale of these books, the proceeds will get support?
Yeah. So my first book, Flamingo Feet, goes towards a charity for young girls in India who don't have access to education. And my grandfather, Mr. Shreya Gupta, actually helps run that charity. And so when I actually visited India and saw how unfortunate
your grandfather
some of the kids
helps
were.
run the charity here?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
And so I saw how unfortunate some of the kids were in India, and so I knew that I wanted to help them, and so I thought that would be an amazing way to be able to help them, because I knew that, okay, I'm going to write this book about anti-bullying, so I could also take the proceeds and use this to help young girls in India get access to education. And so it helped them get food, water, education, books, just everything they would really need. And then for my second book, The Flip Side, that goes towards Kids Help Phone in Canada, and that's an organization that can help kids deal with bullying 24/7. The kids can message the people on Kids Help Phone or call them to get support that they need, because sometimes parents, family, friends, they can't always be there for you, or sometimes they don't know about the bullying, or the kids aren't comfortable opening up. So if a kid is being bullied, abused, or anything in between, they can reach out to Kids Help Phone to get free support and help that they need. And Kids Help Phone has helped a lot of people, so it's one of the main reasons I chose that too.
Both of these charities, in terms of the proceeds going to them. I just wondered, let's just do the first one, the charity that Granddad is involved in, and you've been to India and you see how kids can be helped. Do the kids, are they able to go to school now at all, and whatever you're able to help them, or they're not be able to go to school at all?
Yeah, so for my first book, I've raised about $7,000 for that charity. So I think it's definitely helping the kids. They're getting access to education because there's a school in India that helps them. So education, books, food, water. I'm trying to get that money to them as soon as possible to be able to give them all these resources.
Well, with a couple of minutes that we have left, I just want to touch, because it really kind of made an impression upon me. Flamingo Feet, the title, I'm talking about the titles now. Flamingo Feet, I can understand that. Arya was a dancer, a jazz dance, that's what she wanted to do, and I mean, you've drawn similarities with something that you like as well. And flamingos, the birds, still kind of legs and so on. I could see where the bullying aspect comes in there. But the flip side, I love the meaning of the title, the flip side. Comment on that, please.
Yeah, so the flip side title kind of has multiple meanings, and one of the main meanings of it is in the story. Part of the way Autumn overcomes the bullying is Arya, the main character from my first book, actually makes a guest appearance in that book. And she helps Autumn by telling Autumn to focus on the flip side. So focusing on all the positive comments, the people who love you, and focus on all of the likes and your family and everyone who supports you rather than the bullies. And so the flip side kind of is a title that can have multiple meanings that way. And it's also because in the story, Autumn does a trick with her pet hamster named Nibbles, where she puts Nibbles on her hand and kind of flips him to the other side.
Yes.
So that's kind of the second meaning to the title.
The metaphor is seen quite easily there.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Another minute or so, the help and encouragement you had from Mom, Dad, Grandpa in writing these books, how important was all of that?
It was amazing to see all the support. They've supported me all along the way, and everyone's been super proud of me and loving and caring, and just seeing how supportive they were was super amazing. Writing the books and just seeing them come to life, everyone was super supportive.
More writing in the future? And if so, what other topics you might be tackling?
Yeah, so I think I would definitely want to continue making books about bullying, because it's an important topic that can never really fully just be, you can never fully close the chapter on bullying, because it's such a huge problem that, new types of bullying keep coming and people just keep on getting bullied. So I think I want to continue talking about different types of bullying in my books and continue to take the proceeds and put it towards charities.
That's writing. What do you like to read?
I've always loved mystery series, adventure series. Reading is one of my favorite hobbies to do.
It obviously is, yes.
Yeah, I've always loved the Harry Potter series. I've always loved reading, adventure books and mystery books.
See, it's all relative. In my time, it was Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew. So, and finally, where can our viewers, who obviously must be interested in reading both your books, The Flamingo Feet and The Flip Side, where can they get the books?
Yeah, so they can buy the books on Amazon.com and .ca, Indigo, and Barnes & Noble.
You said that very quickly. Amazon, and who else?
Amazon.ca and .com, Indigo, and Barnes & Noble.
Okay, well, I just hope everybody now just listening to you and understanding why you wrote it, just go on out and get copies of The Flamingo Feet and The Flip Side. And I want to thank my guest, Shreya Gupta, for coming in and chatting with us about these books. It's been a real pleasure meeting you. It's a real pleasure chatting with you. And the love you talked about just now that you got from Mom, Dad, and all your family around you writing these books, we share the love as well. It's been a real honor. Continued success. You are a marvelous young lady, and we just wish you the very best in the future. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
That's it for the ATN Television Network. This is Kenty Can.